Okay guys, I'm working on this 52 inch or 51 inch, I think, 51 inches, 51 inch bow here, hickory bow. From tip to tip here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Yeah, 51 inches exactly. So I like to put my handle right smack in the middle, or my arrow rest right smack in the middle of the bow. Some guys do that, which is 25.5 inches. Okay, so this is the bow, dead center, 25.5 inches from either end, and I'm shaping the bow now with an axe. I'm shaving this down. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's kind of bright, the glare on my camera there. Anyway, get up here closer where we can see it. Guess not. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, there's a pencil mark. There's my pencil mark right here. This line right here is my pencil mark all the way down to coming down here. And it's going down to about 3/8 of an inch wide, maybe a little wider. But anyway, I don't want to get any closer than that with my axe. I want to make sure that my line is getting straight. The top limb I've already done. I thought it's kind of thin there. Anyway, taking this because now I've got a smooth planed edge on here. I'm going to take and draw over this with a pencil. I'm going to leave this up here. This is going to be my arrow rest and my riser right here. And that's a small 2-inch arrow rest shelf there. Anyway, there you go. You see it right there. That's going to be my small arrow rest there, arrow rest and little riser, little very short riser there. But I want this right here, where the handle is. I want this to come up the same distance, so that the riser and the handle are the same, so that the bow doesn't bend more on the top limb than it does on the bottom one. I want to keep this kind of thick. I want to keep this thick as far as the handle goes, from the center, from here to here, is where it starts. Is where my taper is going to start right here with where my little finger is, and I'm going to take this and do the same thing on this end. So I'm going to bring it up to here. This is where my limb is going to start its taper and start to get thin towards the tip of the limb. So I'm going to keep this half kind of fairly thick. Now I've got a good line here. And I also want to go 6 inches from the tip of the limb here, which is about the width of my hand, about right here. I want to start my taper out so that it gets thick, because I don't want the bow to bend here. And I want to kind of round these on the back a little bit, kind of round them just a little bit. And these little, the way I do this here is makes the ends of the way a little heavier, so that it makes like it gives it a weight for centrifugal force, which helps the bow shoot harder. It's got like a weight. It's like a centrifugal force Get that little bit of weight in there, it gives it a little extra pop. 6 inches down on here, start right here. Sorry, I got my back to you, but I'm trying to draw this. Like I said before, it greatly reduces hand shock and it also makes the bow shoot a little faster. So. This is where my taper is going to start. Right in here. So this is my line above on top of my riser. So I'm going to come down here and have this gradually get thicker right here from here to right about back in here somewhere. Anyway, there's a rough, I don't know if you probably can't see it real well because the lighting on my cameras are so bad. Okay, here we go. Well, anyway, you can see my line where I got to taper it out a little bit, where it kind of tapers out. You don't want it to go too sudden. But anyway, this will give this bend here, and it should start the same right here on this line here. Should be about the same from the center of the bow. Yeah, which is the center of the bow right here. So I want the taper on the back to be about the same distance as the handle, basically, so that you don't want you don't want the middle of the bow to bend. You want the limbs to bend, not the handle and not the tips. And now I'm going to rough this out with the axe. And after I get it down to, this is still way too thick, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use the rasp on it. It may take a while, but I'd rather use the rasp and go slow and not take off too much too soon. That way, it's harder to make a mistake with the rasp. You take off too much with the rasp, it's nobody's fault but your own. Don't get in a hurry. Take your time. Take your time, don't get in a hurry, and test it, you know, every 10 or 15 strokes with the rasp, you know, stop and stick it on, put it on a tillering stick and see how it's bending, you know, and check each limb, make sure it's doing what you want to do before you take off too much wood, and then it's too late, because you can't put wood back on. So, trying to straighten my lines out here, so I'll just give you a minute here, guys. Trying to show you what I'm doing and how I'm doing this. It's pretty simple. I mean, there's a lot of bow making videos out there. But you really don't have to get that elaborate with just about right there. So anyway, I'm taking this off with this hatchet kitty cat. You're in a bad spot, dude. And make sure you don't go past your lines. I like to leave the line showing. So. Trying not to take off too much meat off my line. I don't want to go down past the line. I want to try to keep from taking off any more past my line. I'm trying to get it down to the line and where it's flat, to where the bow half-ass starts to bend on its own. And see, after you get this thing halfway shaped, see, I've got this limb here. You see where I've started at. I'm about 3/8 of an inch thick, which is really, it's probably a little more than 3/8. It's probably I don't know, 7/16, something like that, maybe 7/16 thick. Anyway, that's enough on that limb. Take some off of this one here. Start right about here. I think that's about right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. I'm going to start right about there. About right there. Well, as you can see, this piece of hickory is seasoned, well seasoned, because it's hard as a rock to try to cut through. So, mark this on the other side here, so I don't want to screw this up. So I'm going to come back to a good mark on here, so I don't need my place here. I definitely don't want to take off too much wood here, so I'm going to be real careful here before I talk and screw something up here. But the more you can do with the hatchet and get it closer where that's less work you have to do with the rasp. Anyway, so this is I'll show you here. I'm taking the back of this limb here off, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. And you'll see the other end here is still plenty thick here. I've got plenty here, but I don't want to take any more off of this right here because it's getting real close to being real close for that. I want to just leave that just like it is. This here, we'll turn this back and put it up there. Hey, babe, is Missy on Facebook? Okay, guys, thanks for watching.